The movie begins with a sun-drenched scene at an abandoned swimming pool, its cracked tiles and overgrown weeds hinting at years of neglect. A young woman named Koi stands at the edge, her heart pounding with excitement as she prepares to leap into the murky water below to surprise her boyfriend, Dae. She assumes he's floating lazily in the pool, unaware that he's already entangled in a life-threatening predicament. As Koi sprints toward the diving board, her loyal dog, Lucky, a scruffy terrier with a keen instinct for danger, senses trouble and barks frantically. Dae, catching the sound of Lucky's distress, tries to shout a warning, but his voice is lost in the vast, empty lot. Too late, Koi missteps, her foot slipping on the withered board. Her head strikes the edge with a sickening thud, and she plummets into the shallow, algae-ridden water, unconscious. Dae, already trapped in the pool, reacts with desperate urgency. His muscles burn as he swims through the cloudy water to reach Koi, his breath ragged. Blood seeps from a gash on her forehead, staining the water a deep red. He hoists her onto a worn air mattress floating nearby, his hands trembling with fear. Thinking quickly, he dives to the pool's bottom, retrieving a silk scarf Koi had dropped earlier that day. He presses it tightly against her wound, trying to slow the bleeding, but the scarlet stain spreads. "Help!" he yells, his voice echoing off the crumbling concrete walls, but the abandoned pool, isolated in a forgotten corner of the city, offers no response. Lucky paces the edge above, his barks growing shrill as he tries to aid his owner, but the desolate location ensures their cries go unheard. Hours earlier, the seeds of this nightmare were sown. Dae had come to the pool seeking a quiet swim, unaware of the danger lurking beneath the surface. The water had seemed calm at first, but someone or something had opened the drain valve at the pool's base. The water began rushing toward the drain, creating a powerful current. Dae was dozing on the air mattress when Lucky's sharp bark snapped him awake. Blinking against the harsh sunlight, he noticed the water level had dropped dramatically, now barely reaching his chest. A sinking feeling gripped him. He swam to the edge, only to discover a chilling truth. The pool had no ladder. The tiles, slick with algae and grime, offered no purchase. His fingers slid uselessly as he tried to climb out, his heart pounding with growing panic. Desperate, Dae maneuvered the air mattress to the wall, hoping to use it as a step to reach the edge. But even standing on it, his fingertips fell short of the rim. Through a distorted reflection in the water, he spotted his phone perched precariously on the pool's edge. A flicker of hope sparked. He untied the belt from his bathrobe, knotted it to his glasses, and crafted a makeshift hook. With painstaking effort, he cast it toward the phone, but each attempt failed. The belt slipped, or the glasses caught on nothing. Frustration boiled over, and he shouted for help, his voice reverberating in the empty lot. But the pool's isolation was absolute. No one would hear him in this forsaken place. Then, a stroke of luck, Koi called his phone. The vibration nudged it closer to the edge, teetering dangerously. Dae's pulse raced. He stretched toward it, urging Lucky to keep barking as if the dog's encouragement could bridge the gap. But in his excitement, Lucky stumbled, his paws slipping on the slick tiles. The dog scrambled, teetering on the brink of falling into the pool. Dae's heart lurched. On one side was his phone, his only chance for rescue. On the other, his beloved pet, whimpering in distress. The choice tore at him, but instinct prevailed. He swam to Lucky, using the air mattress to boost the dog's hind legs, pushing him to safety. But as he turned back, the phone tipped over the edge, plummeting toward the water. Dae's stomach dropped, but a faint buzz caught his ear. The phone had landed on a narrow ledge, held by its charging cable. He waded through the now waist-deep water, stretching desperately, his fingertips grazing the phone. It was just out of reach. With a reckless leap, he lunged upward, but his fingers missed, and the phone splashed into the water. He dove after it, retrieving the sodden device, but the screen remained dark, its circuits dead. Hope flickered out like a snuffed candle. Determined to halt the draining water, Day dove to the pool's bottom, stuffing his bathrobe into the drain to clog it. But as he tried to surface, the chain on his shorts snagged on the drain cover. Panic surged as he tugged, the metal biting into the fabric. At that moment, a pizza delivery driver arrived, calling Day's name. Through the pool's haze, Day glimpsed the driver's silhouette and screamed for help. But the roar of the motorcycle drowned his cries. The driver, oblivious, turned to leave. With a surge of adrenaline, Day yanked the chain free, tearing his shorts, and swam to the surface, shouting, "Help!" But the motorcycle's rumble faded into the distance, taking another chance with it. Exhausted, Day climbed onto the air mattress, his body heavy with defeat. He drifted, the sun sinking below the horizon, casting long shadows across the pool. Time blurred into a haze of despair. Koi, worried by Day's silence, decided to check on him. Arriving at the pool, she saw him floating, seemingly asleep, and decided to surprise him with her playful leap. But her misstep on the diving board turned the surprise into a tragedy, as the story's opening described. Night fell, and Koi remained unconscious, her wound still seeping blood. Lucky's sudden, frantic barking jolted Day's attention to the pool's entrance. His blood ran cold. A massive crocodile, its scales glinting in the moonlight, lumbered toward the pool, its eyes fixed on Lucky. Day gestured wildly for the dog to be quiet, but the predator had already locked on to its target. It moved with deliberate menace, its claws scraping the cracked concrete. Then, in a cruel twist, it slipped and plunged into the pool. Terror gripped Day. He dove underwater, searching for the beast, but the murky depths concealed it. He dragged Koi's mattress to the far side of the pool, his eyes darting for any sign of movement. The crocodile, however, seemed disinterested, floating lazily in the shallows. By morning, the pool was dry. Koi's wound needed fresh bandaging, but supplies were scarce. Day's gaze fell on a roll of duct tape caught in the crocodile's jaws, an improbable lifeline. Heart pounding, he crept toward the sleeping predator, his movements slow and deliberate. Just as he reached for the tape, Lucky barked sharply. Day froze, signaling the dog to hush. The crocodile stirred but didn't wake. Steeling himself, Day reached again, his fingers brushing the tape. The crocodile's eyes snapped open, its jaws twitching. Day yanked his hand back, clutching the tape as he scrambled away. He bandaged Koi's wound, the tape securing the scarf. 2 days and nights passed in the stifling confines of the pool. Hunger gnawed at them, and the phone was useless. Escape seemed impossible. Then Day noticed the drain nearby. If he could open it, there might be a tunnel to freedom. Keeping one eye on the crocodile, he examined the drain cover, secured by rusted screws. His fingers ached as he twisted them, but they wouldn't budge. Then he saw Koi's necklace, its pendant sharp enough to serve as a tool. As he reached for it, the crocodile stirred, sprawling across the drain cover, its jaws gaping. Day tore strips of tape, flicking them at the beast to distract it. To his relief, it turned away, uninterested. Seizing the moment, Day used the necklace to loosen the screws, prying open the drain cover. Peering inside, he saw a dark tunnel below. It was a gamble, but better than waiting for death. He returned to Koi, hoping to wake her, but she remained unconscious. Unbeknownst to him, the crocodile had slipped into the tunnel. Day waited, expecting the beast to emerge, but it didn't. With Koi's condition worsening, he made a choice. Carrying her, he slid into the tunnel, picking a direction blindly. His luck held. He found an exit, but it was locked. He pounded on it, shouting for help, unaware that the crocodile had returned to the pool, creeping toward Koi's abandoned mattress. Lucky's frantic barking alerted Day. Through a cracked mirror on the tunnel wall, he saw the crocodile's reflection, its jaws inches from Koi. Adrenaline surged. He raced back, bursting from the tunnel just as the crocodile lunged. Day tackled it, shoving it away with a strength born of desperation. Grabbing a rusted pipe, he drove it into the beast's mouth, forcing it to retreat. Exhausted, he collapsed beside Koi. Koi stirred, her eyes fluttering open. They were weak, starving, and dehydrated. Then they noticed something odd. The crocodile hadn't moved all day. Peering closer, they saw why. It had laid a clutch of eggs in a corner of the pool. As Day's dizziness returned, he fainted, the crocodile inching toward him. Lucky's barks roused him just in time. In a flash of clarity, Day realized the eggs were their salvation. He lured the crocodile toward the drain, shoving it inside and slamming the cover shut. With Koi's help, they dragged a heavy couch over it, trapping the beast. Using Day's glasses to focus sunlight, they kindled a fire with dry sticks and cooked the crocodile eggs. The meal restored their strength, but escape remained elusive. The pool was over 6 meters deep, and stacking the couch and mattress didn't reach the top. They turned back to the sewer, slipping inside as the crocodile roared below. At the tunnel's end, Lucky's barks drew their attention to a drone overhead. Day shouted, waving frantically, but it was a toy, unmanned and useless. Defeated, he noticed a fallen wire dangling from a nearby pole. It looked climbable. Ignoring the pain in his hands, he scaled it, the wire's sharp edges cutting into his palms. He was nearly at the top when it snapped, sending him crashing to the ground. Pain exploded in his leg as he landed. As he lay dazed, the crocodile lunged, clamping onto his injured leg. Day screamed, kicking wildly until he broke free. Grabbing a bucket, he battered the beast until it retreated. That night, he crawled through the sewer again, finding another manhole. With fading strength, he pushed it open, only to find another pool. Despair crushed him. The next day, the toy drone returned, and 2 men descended a ladder to retrieve it. Day, hearing voices, scrambled back to the manhole, but they were gone. Miraculously, they'd left the ladder behind. The crocodile blocked his path. Wrapping the wire around his fists, Day prepared to fight. The beast charged, sinking its teeth into his leg. Day climbed onto its back, pummeling its head and jamming a steel pipe into his jaws. The crocodile stilled. Limping, Day reached the ladder, but barrels fell, knocking it away. His hope shattered. Koi's whistle pierced the air, calling for help. Lucky, mistaking it for a summons, ran toward the pool, only to be yanked back by his leash. Day, heartbroken but resolute, used the leash to climb back to Koi. With the pipe, he pried open the manhole, pulling her to safety just as rising rainwater threatened to drown her. They clung to each other, battered but alive, their bond forged in the crucible of survival. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.